Welcome to Inspirational Journeys, everyone. My name is Ann Harrison, and today my special guest, Gina Clark, is a creative coach. So welcome to the show, Gina. Oh, sorry.
Hi, thanks so much for having me, Ann.
Thank you so much for being here. So why don't you tell the listeners a little bit about yourself?
Sure. My name's Gina Clark. By day, I'm a public servant, but in all of my spare time, I am a creativity coach and an artist. So yeah, it's something I've stepped into rather recently, but it's kind of brought meaning to my life in a way that I never thought it would. It's been amazing.
Okay, so tell me, what do you do as a creativity coach?
The way I work, I'm there as a guide for people who want to connect with their creativity or want to reconnect with it if it was something that they did maybe earlier in their life and they've kind of let go of it. And a lot of people that I coach aren't really sure what to do next. They've either tried being more creative in their life and it's just not happening, or they get stuck on moving forward with a creative project that they're working on. So I'm there to sort of help them move through that and get them doing what they want to be doing, which is being more creative.
Oh, okay, that's cool. So do you work with just artists? Do you work the authors? What creative outlets? I mean, who,
Yeah, really
yeah, you
anyone.
get it.
Yeah. It's not, you don't have to be, a painter or a writer or anything specific. It's really whatever it is that makes your heart sing. Like I have people who are actors or dancers that I've worked with, and it could just be somebody who just wants to be more creative and they don't know how yet. So yeah, it's and I think I want to add too that it's not just professional artists that I work with. I would say more not professional artists. It's more people who just want to tap into that creativity that they know they have inside them, but they just haven't been able to let it out.
Do you use a specific guide, or do you come up with your own tools and techniques?
Well, I'm a certified Kaizen-Muse Creativity Coach, and what that is it's a specific way of working. So there's sort of a framework. And Kaizen is a Japanese word that means continuous improvement. So what I do when I work with people is I try to move people along through really small steps, through creative play, through non-threatening activities, so that their fear response kind of gets put to the side and they can push through to that next step. And then over time, suddenly they're where they want it to be without that struggle. But I would say that when I work with people, it's very much led by the person I'm working with. So they guide the direction of the calls, and I take cues from that. So it's not like a ABC. I do this every time, but
Not like the stringent program of the artist's way, for example, which I'm not knocking by any means, but that's what you kind of make me think of. But it's more planned out. You can choose the task you want, but it's still kind of planned out. But you work with the person and where they are.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay. But no, like I said, y'all, those of you watching and listening, I'm not knocking the artist way. If you want to, try it, go for it. But this is different. I can tell this is different. So my audience is a lot of my audience is writers. So let's say a person is you're working with a writer and they're dealing with writer's block. What would your response be to that?
Well, I think my first question would be, what are you trying to get to and what's stopping you? And hear what they have to say about that. I mean, I think for the most part, people are pretty aware of what's been getting in their way. They just don't know how to move through it. Secondly, I like to normalize the blocks that they're facing, because almost everybody they encounter very common blocks in creativity. So those would be things like, feeling overwhelmed, being a perfectionist. Maybe they have some resistance. Maybe they have some self-sabotaging behavior. And these are things that all creatives experience, including professional creatives. It's definitely something that, you might admire a writer, an artist, and think like, oh, it's so easy for them. But I guarantee you that they've gone through the same things that you're feeling. And then from there, we talk about things that have worked for them in the past, because again, people know. The way I coach, it's a way of empowering people to remember the things that they know work, and to encourage them to do them again, and to continue going back to those tools, and then giving them some more tools. But one thing that's important, I think I want to make a good distinction here, is that when I'm coaching people, it's really about the process and it's not about the product. So it's about getting somebody to fall in love with the process of writing again, getting somebody to allow writing to be easier and not be so hard on themselves. It's not necessarily, I want to write a book and I want to write it in the next 6 months. So, put me on a timeline to do that. A book might come out of the work that we do, but it's not what we focus on.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that you mentioned this, and I'll share this here. Because I shared it when I was interviewed for a podcast. As me beginning my work as an editor, with a friend of mine, I feel like I'm a coach because I'm teaching her, story structure. I know that's not the same as what you do, but I feel like I'm teaching her how to structure her writing in that works, that makes, that helps engage other readers. And, I don't know if that would be in the realm of creativity, or not, but I mean, it is, but it's not,
Yeah, I absolutely think it is. I think it is. I mean, and that's like, I take a really broad view of creativity. So if you're the person that's coming up with the, creative ways to structure words, for sure, that's creative.
Okay.
Creativity might be cooking for someone. Somebody might be really, into being in the kitchen and being creative with food. That's creative. It's not, I try to avoid, like the big A artist sort of label. And I just want to help people tap into that part of them that, they feel alive when they start doing something creative. And that can be all kinds of things.
So what I'm hearing you say is that for you, the way you see creativity, it's not a one size fits all approach.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right, because life is not a one size fits all approach. So, do you have any tips or words of wisdom for someone either wanting to become a creative coach, or someone who has, dealing with self-doubt and thinking that they don't have that creative spark? What do
Sure.
they do?
If you're interested in becoming a creative coach and looking into that aspect of it, the creative coaching that I took, again, it's called Kaizen-Muse, Kaizen -Muse. And that's with Jill Badonsky. She's been teaching this method of creativity coaching for about 20 years, and she's amazing. She teaches in a very, I'll say, non-threatening way, and that's how she encourages us to work with our clients in a very non-threatening way. You're there as equals. It's not, you're the boss of creativity and you're going to show somebody how to do it. You're going to encourage them to pull out of themselves what's already there. And then if you're feeling nervous or not sure and you want to, move towards doing more creative things, I think one of my favorite tools is to just take a small step that is no more than 5 minutes long. So listen to what it is that you feel the next small step is, whether that's, shopping for art supplies, or just clearing a space out in your house, or a drawer to keep things, or, doodling. just do it for 5 minutes. And if you want to do it for more than 5 minutes, then keep going. And if you don't, then you've succeeded. If you just take that small step. And then, the next time, what's the next small step after that? And try doing it for 5 minutes. And you'd be amazed at how far you can go, just by taking those really small steps and just doing it once at a, one at a time, and not thinking too far into the future.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you so much. So, where can people find you online?
You can find me on my website at ginaclarkcreative.com. And I'm on Instagram at Gina Clark Creative, and on Facebook at the same link. And I also have a Facebook group called the Creativity Collab, and it's just a space where people can, safely talk about their creativity and share their work. And yeah, it's just a nice community.
Oh, cool. Okay. So, thank you so much for being on the show. I do want to thank you also for the work that you do, because, sometimes people need a little help along the way to get started with their creativity. So, we challenge you today to go out there and read to get inspired, write something inspiring, and share your creation with the world. Or in this case, create something inspiring and share it with the world. But for when you've touched one life, you've touched thousands. Thanks for joining us on Inspirational Journeys. And remember, your story matters. Have a blessed day, everyone.